Good morning. I am going to go over the part-time Indian sorting activity. If you missed class, we did this on Thursday and Friday. Do make sure to try to come to live classes for extra credit because we will be doing a lot of the assignments in class. Okay, so we will be sorting the text boxes on the following slides into the appropriate slides. If we were in the classroom, we would be doing this as a card sort, where we would take pieces of paper and put them in different categories. The digital skills that we need for this are Control X, which copies the text box and deletes it, and then click the slide that you want the text box to be sorted to, and then the Control V places the image. I've actually done the first one for you, and I created a GIF that you can look at that tells you exactly you're going to do Control X, and then click the next slide, and then paste is Control V. Okay, if you ever delete, you can always go back to a previous rendition of this assignment. Okay, so as I mentioned, we're going to be moving these text boxes into the setting, characters, rising action, and inciting incident. I'm going to go through the answers. The first one, as I said, is done for you. The setting, you will place settings and the descriptions here. The setting of part-time Indian is the Indian reservation. That's very simple. Don't overthink it. Number 2, we're going to look at Junior looked goofy on the outside, but it was the inside stuff that was worse. We're going to do Control X, then go to Characters, and put that Control V because Junior is providing a lot of description about what he looks like on the outside and his health issues on the outside. So this is where the descriptions of characters go. All right, number 3, Mom said we have to take Oscar to the vet. In my opinion, I think that this is rising action because here we're going to paste what happened in the rising action except for the inciting incident, which I'm going to talk in a second. Okay, so Mom, we have to take Oscar to the vet. Remember that Oscar is the dog that had to be put down. So this is a minor event that goes in the rising action because the author didn't have to include it, but chose to because it tells us about the narrator and it tells us about the poverty and the financial difficulty that that the family is experiencing. So it sort of gives us information about the rising action. All right, number 4 we're going to look at. Do you know what happens to retards on the res? I'm using the word that was used in the book. We get beat up. I'm going to say we're going to put this in setting, okay? What happens on the reservation? This shows us that the reservation is not a safe place, and so it's giving us information about the what and the when and the where of how Junior is treated, okay? So the res gives us some information, tells us that it's not a safe place for people who are different, who people have special needs. All right, number 5, living with his poor-ass family on the poor-ass Spokane Indian Reservation. Again, I'm sorry for cursing. It is in the novel. So this, again, is going to give us information about the setting, okay? You might want to put it in characters. You could put it in both places. But I think it's mostly the setting because it's telling us that the people and where they live, this reservation is poor. Okay, so we have a lot of information about setting so far. We're going to do other ones too. All right, number 6, don't think this very hard. Overthink this, I'm sorry. Rowdy has protected me since we were born. This is giving us information about characters, okay? So characters, Rowdy gives us some information about the relationship with Junior. Number 7, which is referring to Rowdy, he laughed, tripped over the tent pole, and stumbled into a minivan. It was pretty funny, so I laughed. That was a mistake, okay? So Junior made Rowdy mad. I would put this in rising action because the rising action, this is an event that sort of tells us about the relationship between the two characters. It's a minor event, just like the dog before. So the author didn't have to include it, but chose to give the environment, the setting and the characters some background information to set the mood. All right, number 8, Mr. P sometimes forgets to come to school. Again, don't overthink it. This is going to be characters. We learn that Mr. P is a little absent-minded. He's a character. Number 9, the tribe actually houses all of the teachers in the one-bedroom cottages and musty old trailers behind the school. This is going to be setting because it tells us a very interesting and unique thing about the reservation, that the people who teach at the reservation school actually live on the reservation. So it's starting to develop that setting. Number 10, my school and my tribe are so poor and sad that we have to study from the same dang books our our parents studied from. So you could put this in setting again, because setting, it tells us again more about the setting, but I think it's actually better to put it in rising action, because it's something that happens that again doesn't need to happen, but starts to give you more information about what's going to happen in the future. So we know that Junior sees his mom's name on his geometry textbook, and that makes him really, really angry. Again, it didn't have to happen, but it does. It starts to lead towards that. The inciting incident. It's not the inciting incident yet, but it's close. All right, number 11, can I sit down with you, Mr. P asked. This again is going to be rising action. It's something that happens that's starting to get to our inciting incident. It didn't have to be included, but it makes sense. It's an event that happened. All right, 2 more. We have number 12. My sister Mary had become a humanoid underground dweller. There wasn't much romance in that. That's going to be our characters. Not too hard. Just gives us some information about Mary. And we learn in the story that she learns a lot about, that she doesn't learn. We learn about that she wants to write romance novels. All right, and then the final one, which you know because the inciting incident says only one text box goes here, we know that number 13 is going to go there, but I'm going to explain why. So number 13, Mr. P says, you're going to find more and more hope the farther and farther you walk away from this sad, sad, sad reservation. This is our inciting incident that is going to kick the novel into the main plot of the book. We can start to make we can start to have ideas about what's going to happen in the rest of the novel. Okay, so that's why that is the inciting incident. Please, if you were not in class last week, you should watch this video so that you know what to do on this assignment.